Hey guys, welcome back to the garden. It's mid-September and usually I don't do a lot of work in the garden this month. It's sort of an in-between month where I harvest, but I don't clean or I don't clear out spaces because some things are still growing and I don't want to do it twice. But we're at the back end of the explosive garden and it's been a crazy growing season and I haven't been able to make my way in here to some of the crops and some of the plants that I have growing in here, because as you can see, these teasels, these amazing white beautiful teasels that I got from seeds, they have sort of invaded the space completely and they have just sort of grown all the way and then sort of leaning this way and making it impossible to enter this space. And along with a lot of stingy nettles and other things, I think I need to start the clearing process. Also because I know I have some small trees growing in here and I wanna check if they are still alive. I did plant a walnut tree, another walnut tree in here because it's sort of away from most of the other things, so that sort of poisonous effect that the walnuts can have on other things, it's gonna take quite a while for any other stuff growing here to be bothered from that. So I put it here because walnuts are thriving in this garden and in this climate, and it's actually one of the only nut trees I think are really giving any kind of harvest to speak of. But it's gonna be long this. I'm just gonna cut things back and then make my way through, but from the back end because everything is leaning this way. So I think that's the easiest way to move through this bit of the garden. But yeah, on another note, happy note, is that I have found someone to help me in the garden 4 or 5 hours a week, and I'm so pleased with that. And he's coming this afternoon, and I think we will start tackling this together. And that's well, it's gonna be. Well, it's gonna tell him what kind of work he's in for. So I hope he doesn't run away screaming. Other than that, it's crazy how lush everything still is. We have not seen a yellow blade of grass this summer. It's just growing and growing, and we have to mow the lawn at least every 5-6 days. Luckily my husband is doing most of the mowing, but in the smaller spaces I do run my electrical lawnmower, but it's been quite a strange growing season. Other than that, I want to show you a few of my apple trees. It's also a strange apple season because some of the trees had so many apples last year that this year they didn't flower at all, and hence they don't have any apples. But other trees are loaded with fruits again, and I just want to show you this. These poor trees. This is a pichon apple and it's just loaded. It's also starting to shed some of the smaller apples, but you can see all the tree is totally bent over like this. But I really love these apples. And another bent apple tree is my favorite L-star. It has the weirdest shape. But and I think maybe 3 or 4 other L-star trees because it's one of my favorite apples. But these are somehow more intense in the taste and sweeter, and it is, if I must say a favorite apple tree, this is the one. And it's also really funny to see because it has such a weird and bent shape that it's one of the trees that people have the longest conversations with when they are talking to the garden. which is something I teach, and I ask people to go out to have a conversation with the tree, and this tree is one of the favorites. Actually also I want to show you this, the heart knot. This I think is so beautiful right now, and it's actually now beginning to look like a tree who could have nuts next year. I'm hoping so. And I have decided to really trim back, to cut back a lot of my support trees. So this pseudo acacia, I'm gonna cut back quite a lot. So I'm maybe going to leave one trunk and the others are going, so this one will have more light and more space to grow. But beautiful shapes of the leaves and the branches, I think. I want to show you something quite sad. Well, it's sad in one way and it's happy in other ways. So I have these giant Seabuckthorn that are about 11-10 years old, and they have been giving us so many berries and growing like crazy. But this year, and I don't know why, this year half of it suddenly fell. So I came out one morning to take my morning handful of Seabuckthorn. You see these, how loaded, I mean, it might be the weight of the berries. If you look at these, it is just so many berries. This one is Orange Energy, and it's standing right beside its male counterpart. This one is a Pulmix. But look at this fallen giant. It's half of the female has fallen suddenly, and I have no idea why. It's not gonna impact our number of well, we won't have as many berries, but we have more than enough also for all the other people coming into the garden to harvest some. But as you can sort of see, this then becomes a very open, beautiful space. So I'm thinking about something to do with the ground layers now that suddenly I have more light. And I think this process is interesting. But what's weird is also that I had, sorry, I have someone eating my arm. I also had another tree, another nitrogen fixer, a Siberian pea tree growing here quite big, and that also suddenly fell. So I'm curious to see how the garden is editing itself in a way that, okay, some things give up and give out and allow light to come back into the ground layers. So I'm not sad. Initially I was like, oh, baby, what happened? But now I just need to cut it back and drag it out of the garden and then see what this space could become, because now it's different. And actually you already see how these are comfrey officinalis, and they are just shooting like crazy. And maybe they will, because the weather is warm and nice, maybe we will even have a late flowering on these guys, and they have been flowering 2-3 times already. So it's quite interesting, this process of now the garden is doing things that I have no control over. I just have to sort of roll with the punches and see where that takes the garden and the different spaces. So I just wanted to share that, and I'll get on with the clearing and cleaning, and thank you guys for watching. See you later.